Happy Tuesday, everybody. I'm Amanda Head, the Hollywood Conservative, and this is your Hollywood Minute. So I think that the left has figured out by now that the whole raid on Mar-a-Lago absolutely boomeranged. Even leftists in mainstream media were saying if there is not something absolutely damning, then this is not okay. And a lot of people feel that way. Even Democrats, even people who are utterly consumed with Trump derangement syndrome. Actually, no, those people, leave them aside. But people who are solidly on the left, even people like that are thinking to themselves, I don't want to live in a police state. And when you look at the nature of this search and the fact that they kicked everybody off site and that they demanded that they turn off the security cameras, which, by the way, they didn't. Trump and his lawyers rightfully said, no, we're not turning off our cameras. Let me ask you this. Why would the DOJ and the FBI need to search someone's property without anyone looking? Why would they not want the owner of the property to see what they were doing on their property? Just think about it. Anyway, so it turns out that they accidentally grabbed President Trump's passports. 3 of them, actually. One of them was expired. One of them, I think, was his regular passport. And then the third one, I assume, was probably his diplomatic passport. So, oopsie. I keep envisioning the scene from Clueless where Alicia Silverstone, her character Cher, is doing her driving test and she almost runs over a biker and she goes, oops, my bad. That's what I envision the FBI saying about these passports. So, reporting from my amazing co-host John Solomon over on Just the News, here it is. 3 passports, privileged documents, a file on a presidential pardon, as evidence surfaces about what FBI agents seized during the raid of former President Donald Trump's estate in Mar-a-Lago, new questions about the real focus of the investigation, and new avenues for legal challenges are bubbling to the surface. DOJ admission, this is the title, DOJ admission, it over-collected evidence in Trump raid creates new legal drama. Boomerang? I think so. The Justice Department informed Trump's team Monday that agents gathered the former president's passports and are obligated to return them, and that officials are also reviewing seized materials that may be covered by various privileges, multiple sources told Just the News, something that we discussed last night on air. Executive privilege, attorney-client privilege, these are things that would preclude the FBI from collecting those items. DOJ has designated a process for separating materials that could be covered by executive privilege or attorney-client privilege and hopes to return such memos to Trump within a couple of weeks. How nice of them. Occasionally, a warrant collection can grab things outside the scope authorized by the court, and the department is now following a procedure we would for any person affected this way, one official said last night. Kevin Brock, who served as FBI Assistant Director for Intelligence under former Director Robert Mueller, who we've had on our show numerous times. We love to have Kevin on the show for anything intelligence related. He said that the new revelations raise legitimate questions about overcollection of evidence that could lead to significant legal challenges. Trump lawyers are weighing whether to ask a federal court to name a special master to review sensitive documents and protect the president's Fourth Amendment executive and attorney-client privileges. Brock told Just the News, Trump's attorneys could have a runway to argue the scope of the search is overbroad. Search warrants normally require a level of specificity that seems to be missing in this warrant. Specificity is important in order to protect the Fourth Amendment rights from exuberant government overreach designed to find whatever they can. So typically in a search warrant, you have it stipulated, like Kevin Brock said, with specificity, what is to be collected? What is it they are looking for? Where is it? Where is it specifically? And there are typically even parameters, locational parameters within that, so that FBI agents can't go onto your property and just destroy your entire property and belongings. And typically a lawyer is present so that when the FBI agents approach the property, they say, look, this is what we're looking for. And the attorney says, you know what? I don't want you tearing apart this entire property. I'll just tell you where they are. They are in Donald Trump's office, left side, second drawer from the top. That's typically what happens, so that you don't have the FBI going in an overbroad, overgeneralized manner and just ripping apart the property. So there were so many things that went wrong with this, so many things. And I just gotta say, I don't think it looks good for the FBI and the DOJ. I don't think it looks good for the Biden administration. I don't think it looks good for any Democrats going into midterms. And for a long time, I have felt like Republicans were going to take back the House, at least the House in November, possibly the Senate as well. And barring some incredible October surprise, I absolutely still feel that way. And I think that this only fuels the fire of Republicans and independents who are sick of all of this garbage being fueled by Democrats in Washington, D.C. So head over to my website, thehollywoodconservative.us, sign up for my daily emails, head over to my pillow and use my promo code Hollywood. Tune in tonight, our A-Block guest, very top of the show, Paul Manafort. We're going to talk to him about his time in jail. And we're going to ask his opinion of this situation as well. So tune in, 6 p.m. Eastern, every night, Monday through Friday. See you then.